Welcome to Haunted Horizons Ghostcast with Alison Oborn, Craig Cameron and Cag Alwood from Haunted Horizons.
So did anybody hear that? Did I just stuff up the buttons again? No? It's all right. I'm watching my guests. You can't see my guests. They are in the background, and I will be bringing them on soon. Well, actually, one isn't a guest. One's my co-host. So hello, everybody. I'm just going to put it on comments so I can see you all. Just in case you didn't know what the subject was about tonight, we may have some creepy things behind us. They're my little collection. Are they haunted? I don't know. The one doll that I did want to have here tonight, and I'm going to start with a little story, as I always do. And we're going to start with a place called Tailem Town, Pioneer Village. Now, every year at Tailem Town, which is full of antiques and old things, Peter Squires, who owns it, puts out a Christmas display. And in that Christmas display is a doll, a very old doll, which he puts out with we nicknamed him Baby Jesus because he's put out in the Nativity. Why Peter would want to use him in the Nativity, I don't know, because he is the creepiest, oldest doll. One of the eyes looks like clouded and opaque. The hair is falling out. And he just looks like he should be haunted. Not long ago, kind of Baby Jesus sits in the back of the church, or did. We've actually put him somewhere safe now, but he was in the back of the church. And I always check the church when I start a tour, make sure the door's open, make sure camera's up, and went out the back room. There was Baby Jesus, as he always was, sitting on the chair. Went and got the tour, went around with the tour, came back to the church, and Baby Jesus wasn't on the chair anymore. He was actually halfway across the floor. Now, if he had just fallen off the chair, then he would be in the vicinity of the chair. But he was on his front, and he was halfway across that back room. It's quite a fall from a chair. So, and then you wonder, because it's the church, we get a lot of stuff happening. And we do seem to have a child in the church. Could it be either attracted to the doll or involved with the doll? So, but I'm going to bring on some guests. Well, I'm going to bring on Cag first, because obviously Cag is here to help. Hello, Cag. And I'm just going to change my
hello,
because that looks absolutely shocking. And then I'm going to bring on our special guest tonight,
Yay.
Amy from Amy's Crypt. How are you, Amy?
I'm very well. Thanks for having me on.
That's good. Thank you for coming on. I think we planned this, didn't we, over a glass of wine or something? We went out and I think we jumped.
I can remember.
Went for lunch. I thought, we haven't done a ghost cast for a while. I know. Let's get Amy on. And what should we talk about? And how come you lot aren't being Christmassy, by the way? This is probably our last one before Christmas, Cag. Look. There you go. Even Amy's got her Christmas T-shirts available from Amy's Crypt, I believe. Now Cag is desperately looking for something.
I haven't got anything Christmas in here. No, I'm sorry.
Christmassy.
Hello,
Dubs. If we're not saying hello to everybody, obviously there's a lot of people watching. If we just continually say hello, then it's just going to interrupt. So we're going to say hi to everybody who's come on. And thank you for coming and joining us tonight. I can see there's a lot of your fans here, Amy, as well. So that's great to see. So now I'm just going to play a little bit, because the reason we thought about dolls is because you did a recent episode, didn't you?
Yes, over Halloween. So at Tailem Town as well.
Yeah, so what I thought is I'll play the little beginning to that. And if anybody isn't aware of it, they can go and watch the full episode. I'm playing it from your YouTube channels. So let's just see what it is you did. So let me bring this up as the next screen and play.
Here all alone in the very haunted church. It's filled with dolls, and I know it's some of them are haunted. She looks possessed. We are in an incredibly haunted building. I actually feel really creeped out. There is a tall, black, shadowy figure that a lot of people have seen around here. Freaking creepy. Can you give me a sign to show me that you're around? Some of these dolls are haunted. Came back to the church. The doll had moved. She scares me. After looking at all the dolls, I just felt short of breath. Maybe there's something going on with this doll.
Oh.
Okay. What is that?
And if you want to watch the rest of the episode, you have to go to Amy's Crypt on YouTube. So how did you find it? I mean, let's talk about that episode, because I saw baby Jesus in there.
Yes.
If anybody was listening to my description of baby Jesus actually features in your episode. One of the reasons we've actually taken him out of the church now, just in case anybody gets ideas about baby Jesus, because we are quite attached to him. So he has now been, I don't know what Peter's going to use. He's probably looking everywhere for his baby Jesus for his nativity, but oops.
He has plenty of dolls to choose from.
Sorry, he must have just walked off. Don't know where he is, Peter.
Plausible. No, it was actually a really interesting couple of nights. So we filmed over 2 nights. So we did the one in the church, which you just saw the preview for, and then we did one in the schoolhouse, because the schoolhouse seemed fitting as well with their kids around. So the thought behind it was kind of like, is there something going on with the dolls or the items there? Or maybe it could, bringing them into a place they don't normally sit, maybe that changes the energy dynamic, especially, if you're dealing with children and you're bringing in all these toys kind of thing. So I guess that's what interested me about your baby Jesus story. It's like, was the child in the church Ian, right? Was it possibly him messing with the doll, or does the doll have something going on with itself, or is it something else that possibly doesn't like the innocence of the doll, or it's baby Jesus. We were so I thought it was a really interesting night. I don't think we had anything overly crazy happen, but I mean, any night that you go to Taylor Town, there's always a different vibe or different feeling, and I think that it did feel different this time around from when we filmed last year, with all the dolls there. And there was a few really weird bits of evidence that we kind of picked up that I was yeah, that's strange, that's notable, you know what I mean? So it was really good.
That's cool.
Because you had baby Jesus. I think it was baby Jesus I saw in the little clips there. He was out in the back room, wasn't he? You took him out. Was that baby Jesus when you got the funny? Now, I'm not into orbs, I'm going to say. All right. Okay. I'm sorry to upset anybody. For me personally, until I see them with my own eyes, I go, well, I do photography. So I'm kind of sitting on the fence with orbs. Not saying they don't exist. I just think you've got to be careful with photographs and video. But you got a really interesting one, didn't you? And
was weird.
Explain that one to us, because you had the doll in the back.
So I'm kind of the same with orbs. I try to be skeptical, but if I see something that looks interesting, I will highlight it in my video, and then people can kind of make their own minds up about it. But this orb, there was a lot of orbs. Say when we were filming back there, we basically put baby Jesus in the middle of the room, and then set up the GhostTube SLS app to just monitor him, because we were doing a bunch of filming that night. So we left the church completely alone, left that recording him. And there is a lot of dust. I'll say there is a lot of dust there. So I guess all the particles you're seeing flying around in the video, they probably are dust. But there was one that was really, really big. And, I guess just because it's big, it doesn't mean that it's, some kind of spirit manifestation or whatever. But for a split second, and I actually almost missed it when I was editing the video, for a split second, the app maps a partial figure inside the orb. So I thought that was pretty weird. I've never picked up anything like that before, and I don't think I've really seen anything like that in like other videos and stuff online that I've watched. So I don't know what the deal is.
I did see that, and it was odd. Just for those who don't know, because not everybody obviously knows about the app and who are watching tonight, what is the app that you used with that? You saw a little figure. I don't know if you saw it with the introduction guys. You saw a little stick figure come up inside that orb as it flew across. It was just split second. So for those who don't, because it's a new feature on your GhostTube app, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's actually a whole sort of separate app. So we have, Jared and my husband and I have developed 2 apps, one called GhostTube and one called GhostTube SLS. And the premise of the app is very similar to your traditional SLS camera, like using the Kinect. But we've, managed to get it to kind of work similarly on your smartphones. So basically what we do is we use the iPhone, and it uses the multiple cameras on the phone to detect depth. And then within, that depth and what the cameras are picking up, it uses augmented reality software to look for anything that's like human shaped, looks like a person. And then if it picks up something, it will draw a little skeleton looking thing over it. And it is like, if you point it at a living person, it should map them. You'll see them mapped. So it's kind of interesting when you're pointing it at a blank room, doesn't pick anything up the whole time, and then a figure appears. So I don't know. Yeah. I can't say it's paranormal, but it's very, very cool.
You can't really say anything. There could be other reasons. And the nice thing I like about you and your episodes is you never say it is. And I think that's why we've adopted Amy, because she says some people say that spirits can talk through the ghost box. She doesn't actually say that what she's getting. And that was so refreshing when we first met you, because you came on a tour. That's how I first met you. I didn't even know who you were. So, who are you? You're some blogger? I don't know who you are.
Ladies, I've taken a lot of inspiration.
So, and it's just okay. I went to look at what she did, and I thought, you know what? I like this girl. So, and this is why you've been nearly all our venues now, haven't you? It's
yeah, slowly ticking them all off the bucket list.
So, occasionally we got a couple more episodes coming out on our own. I honestly don't know how Amy does it. All right, guys. Amy brings out 2 episodes a week. I have no idea how she does that, because I try and edit. I haven't done one out in 3 weeks, and I'm still working on one. It's just, how do you do it so quickly? It's just like, there's my episode. So
I remember that you are running a business at the same time, though.
I am. I do get distracted. I've got kangaroos and all sorts out there.
It's time consuming. I think as well, the paranormal kind of stuff, you've just got so much evidence like to look for. So you really have to review. Whereas if you were making a different type of video, instructional, like how to cook a biscuit or something, it's a lot more straightforward. You don't have to sit there and watch, an hour or 2 of just an empty room, hoping you might, hear a noise or see something.
You've got to tell a story, even though it's a true story. It's what's happening, but you've still got to make it flow.
That's it.
So that it becomes interesting and it does make sense, because I find I've got to get rid of a whole load because it's not important to what happened or the story and it's just look, hats off to you. You're just smashing it, and well done for being South Australian, girl.
Woo!
Go SA. So now getting back to the dolls. All right, so now you did, I didn't show anything from the Schoolhouse. So the next week you came back and you took those dolls, all the same dolls, and you set them up. We've got a very old school, for those who don't know about Tailem Town. It does date back to about 1885. So it's an original school. He's got all the original desks in there, all the paraphernalia from a school in those days. And you took all those dolls into there because you thought, well, the best place to go with dolls would be where children were. And now I'm going to be very honest, I haven't watched that episode yet. So what sort of things did you get much happening in there that you remember?
We got a few things of interest. One that comes to mind was we did another like locked off camera with the SLS, and it wasn't like picking up a figure of interest, but it was just some noises. It actually sounded like dropping something very close to the camera, but you can like hear it bounce, if that makes sense. So it was like if like if you drop something, it would bounce. We also had I'm pretty sure it was baby Jesus actually. One of the K2s like drained of battery, but the reason why it was odd was I had a couple of the devices out, and I was looking at the one that was mine, and I was like, oh, that light's really dim. And I was comparing it to the one that was next to baby Jesus, which was like really bright. And I was like, oh crap, like I better change the battery. So I changed the battery on mine. Mine looks nice and glowy. And then like I look over at baby Jesus and his was off, like it had died. So I was like, oh, okay, like that's a bit odd. I mean, I know it doesn't mean anything, but
Yeah.
and then we did the Estes method with Jared, and there was a few things that were kind of relevant, but the thing that stuck out to me were there was just like so many numbers he was like spitting out to me, and the numbers weren't really relevant to what I was asking, but then I was thinking about it afterwards, and I was like, maybe there was like a school class going on or something, because it was there was so many numbers. It was very odd. So yeah, it was interesting.
And just because again, who knows, but you've said the Estes method. How could they not? You've said the Estes method. So just to explain the Estes method, it's the ghost box, and it's basically we're biased. People say to what we're hearing, it's broken radio, so we hear things and we're biased. We just asked a question. So what we've been doing and what Amy's been doing is having one person on headphones listening to it so they can't hear the questions. And that completely takes the bias. Sorry if I'm hitting my mic there. Completely takes the bias out of it. And yeah, you've been having some interesting things with that as well, haven't you? Some interesting responses.
Yeah, I've really been enjoying the Estes method. I always, I know a lot of people don't like the spirit box, but for some reason, the spirit box has always been like one of my favorite tools to use. So I think that it's also good because it takes out the bias, but it's kind of good for my channel as well, because there's a lot of people who are like, ugh, like shut that thing up. I hate listening to it. No, very cool things come out. And I know that you guys have as well. I remember seeing a really cool one you guys did at Arrowdale, and it was just the responses you were getting were really, really interesting.
That was interesting, wasn't it? Because I was on the headphones and I couldn't stand still. I was pacing.
You were really angry.
I was very agitated. And the responses were to do with, we didn't know at the time, but somebody had just broken in, hadn't they?
Yes.
Earlier in the day. And I didn't know they'd smashed a window at the back of the room where I was, or the building where I was, and had broken in. And we didn't know that. And I was pacing, and the comments I was coming out with and hearing on the radio it was to do with the break-in. And
very relevant.
It was really weird. I must
admit. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. But no, I love the Estes. So now what about your own dolls, Amy? Because you've been collecting. I mean, we all know about baby Jesus now. And by the way, I remember seeing a comment here where they said maybe baby Jesus is homesick now. Now baby Jesus is still in the village. He's definitely not homesick. He's not.
He's hiding.
Yeah, but he's not. So baby Jesus is under armed guard at the moment. So, witness protection, whatever you want to call it, he's under protection. But you've been a bit of a collector of your own dolls lately, haven't you? And I think you've got a couple behind. I remember that middle one there, the one I remember him from the video as well. And Salem, he's probably the creepiest looking one of your lot.
Yeah, for sure. Well,
what's the stories behind these guys?
So I mean, at the start of like COVID, I really was kind of worried about content, and a huge part of what I do is traveling and going places. So I was like, oh, what am I going to kind of do? And I started kind of like looking for haunted dolls, and always skeptical, but I think that's kind of like it pushed me to like take that step where I probably wouldn't have done it if it wasn't for COVID. So I've actually got 3 here behind me. So one of them I actually got, I don't know if I should move them. So this one here I have named Nancy, just because that was the name I felt like naming her. And she's just from an op shop. And the reason that I bought her was like, I can't really tell you why. So I went to a number of like secondhand op shops. I was looking specifically for like dolls or items that I felt drawn to, and over the course of like a few months I didn't really find any. And it wasn't until I went to a secondhand store with like no intention of finding a doll that I found her. And I don't know why, I just really, really like her, and I get like good vibes from her, I guess. And we've had a few, like she's been the doll that's been with me the longest out of all of them. And we have kind of like heard things in the house. Nothing that I think is kind of concrete enough to be like, that was like a ghost or a spirit, but just like a little peculiarity, like really strange things. And this bigger one here, she is Cindy. This one came all the way from London. So basically what I was doing, I wanted to buy dolls from like, a secondhand store, but then I also wanted to try and get some different ones. There's a lot of people selling these haunted dolls online, and I am very skeptical of it all, but I wanted to get a doll from a seller that specifically specializes in haunted dolls, right? So I went on Etsy and I looked at a lot of different stores, a lot of different sellers, and I found this one that I kind of liked, and I found the doll that I really liked. And sorry, she's still nudie. I do need to get some clothes. I'm in the process of that. But the person selling this doll said her name is Cindy, or that's what she's told us anyway, 5-year-old girl, but they're a little bit doubtful that it is actually a 5-year-old girl, and maybe they're more posing as a little girl. So they said this one could be not demonic, but it could have the potential to be negative. So I mean, I kind of liked that. And then the last one I got again on Etsy, but I like this one the best because as far as buying a haunted doll online, it seems the most legit, if you know what I mean. So this one here doesn't have a name, but I just call her Dolly just because it's a doll. But she is the one that kind of gets to me personally the most. And I bought her again on Etsy. The seller does not sell haunted dolls or haunted items. Her store is basically just like vintage or antique dolls or doll parts or like doll clothing. So she's just a doll lover. And I did talk to her in a number of messages, and she said basically as soon as she came into possession of this doll, a lot of really bad stuff happened to her. So like bad luck, like health-wise, she had birds fly into her car windshield, and like a negative feeling around the doll, and other people felt off around the doll. So that kind of like drew me to the doll. And then I looked on her store, and her store was temporarily closed due to health issues. And I was like, oh, holy crap, that kind of buys into the story of the doll even more. So I messaged her, I started talking to her. She'd just gotten out of hospital for, I forget, it was something like kidney surgery or something. She's like, yeah, I need to get rid of this doll. Like it's, it's bad news. But yeah, she sent the doll to me. The day that I got the doll, I got really, really sick. I can't say that it was the doll, but it was really like coincidental. I also had the day that the doll shipped to me, So she came from the States. The day that she shipped out, I remember checking my email in the morning. I was like all excited because the doll was coming. And a bird flew into my bedroom window, like whilst Jared and I were like sitting on the bed in the morning, just like talking or whatever. And you guys know I'm scared of birds. I was like, no. Nothing like super bad has happened since I was sick on and off for like a long time since she came into the house. But now I'm like, I don't know, I don't trust her. And maybe it's just like the eyes.
It's the eyes. I know. She looks
Yeah.
so it's such an innocent looking doll, but these huge eyes. Yeah.
Eyes look really sketchy.
She's hiding a dark secret.
Yeah. I think as well, like, your eyes have moved because I think that I forget which way they're pointed. And then I'm like, wait, was she looking left or was she looking right? But we have had, so I have a couple of videos just about the dolls as well, if anyone is interested in kind of knowing more about them on my channel. So the first video I did was I wanted to get a number of dolls and do a video where I showed people the dolls and kind of told them the story, but didn't tell them which story aligned to which doll. Mm-hmm. And the reason I wanted to do that was because I have a lot of viewers or, you know, people that watch my channel who will say things to me like, I get a vibe from this, or, you know, I feel this, you know, from this place. And I was like, I wonder if that could translate to a doll. So I showed the dolls, and that was kind of like a really interesting experiment because it was cool to see all the correlations with the comments. You know, the most notable thing was this baby one, Cindy. People don't like her. Like, they're just like, nah, bad vibes, creepy. And I wonder, I'm like, is it because of the aesthetic of the doll, like what the doll looks like, that people say that? Or is there something there that people don't like? You know what I mean? So it has been interesting, and there's been a few weird little things that have happened around the house since getting them. Nothing that I've been like, this doll is definitively haunted. I don't think I'll ever say that about anywhere or anything, but it's been fun, actually.
been good. What does Jared think about all your haunted dolls that you're collecting slowly?
Jared is quite skeptical, but he thinks I'm crazy. Like, not just for the dolls, for many reasons. He hates Cindy, so he hates the big baby. He just doesn't like her. I don't know if it's like what she looks like and it's just creepy to him. And sometimes like I'll have them in the bedroom, like stuff, just to be like, oh, is something gonna happen? But I think that like one of the weirder things that kind of happened to him. And we were going to bed one night, and I remember I just got out of the shower and I come back to our room, getting ready for bed, and he's like, it's freezing cold. And I was like, no, it's not. And like, I don't know if it was just because I got out of the shower, but he said he was so cold that you know when you breathe and you can see your breath, like you get your last breath. He reckons he had that, like a puff of that in the bedroom. I didn't see it with my own eyes, but he was like, that's how cold it is in here. I'm like, no way, like our house would never get that cold so that you've got a frost. Yeah. And that was actually why that doll was in the room. He didn't know that. So, and I can't say that it was the doll, and I didn't even see it myself. I trust Jared, but I don't know. So
I mean, Jared. I mean, we know Jared as well, and Jared's not the sort to make stuff up. He's
he's not.
Straight down the line. It's like he'll say if he believes or he doesn't. He's always said that, you know, he sits on the fence unless it happens.
Yeah,
happens to him type thing. Which my husband is the same. He's until it happens to him.
What would Michael say though if you started collecting haunted dolls?
Well, you know, who knows? I might. I'm sure these ones are
a few behind you.
Well, this one's got. Actually, this one was given to me.
Got a crooked neck.
Yeah. It's all. So I'm sure it's not haunted, though. I haven't done anything. Well, mind you, Keg, I have had some strange things in my house lately, and I put it
You
down. I
have.
think maybe it's the dolls that come in.
I was looking online today at some of the stories that they've got. So
Yeah, well, I'm going to show you what you can buy on eBay soon. A lot of them.
There are many. I found a store on Etsy as well, right?
Okay.
And I don't name and shame or anything. Like, I get it, people make money, and it's kind of like you're almost buying the story of the doll. So it's the fun of investigating it. Like, that's my job as a paranormal investigator, I guess, to see if it's haunted. But there was this one seller, and the store was 2 years old, and they had sold over 1,500 dolls, and they also had like hundreds on the store at that given moment as well. And I was like, wow, that's more than 2 dolls per day that they've sold over 2 years. And every doll has a very in-depth kind of story, like it's a very well researched and investigated doll for you to know that much. Like, how can you sell that many dolls? You know what I mean? Like, how can you come into possession of that many truly haunted dolls, find that much info, investigate them to be able to sell them with that story? And I did find one on that store, and the start of their write-up, they were calling the doll Sarah or something like that. And then halfway through, the doll's name suddenly changed to Teresa. So I feel like it was a bit of a copy and paste job. That
that sounds like it.
In there.
Actually,
it's careful, but
it is fun reading some of the write-ups for these dolls. It's like, do you know, and I always say, you know, when you're trying to tell a lie, people embellish so much because it's almost like they're trying to convince you, and they go overboard with it. And some of the write-ups for these dolls is like really...
They are creative. I give them that. Plenty of different stories.
Very
I do like the tendency of, if a doll is like themed, so say you have like a doctor or a surgeon doll, I found it funny how those dolls were always haunted by a doctor. That makes sense. Yeah.
Because you're not a fan of dolls, are you, Keg? Keg keeps saying to me every week, see, she keeps going, oh, bloody dolls. Don't want to be doing dolls. Haunted dolls. How many haunted dolls can there be in the world? Because it seems like we've got it's a bit like the zombie plague, isn't it, at the moment? It's like...
It's here. It's like
haunted dolls out of nowhere. Everybody's got haunted dolls.
It's you're not allowed to have a creepy doll anymore. It has to be haunted. And I'm thinking, why would all these ghosts haunt dolls? Haven't they got anything better to do?
Vessels, Keg, vessels.
Yeah, you never hear of like a haunted knife and fork.
No.
Thank God about the knife not being haunted and possessed.
Exactly. But it's just like, I do have an issue with all these people that have got loads and loads and loads of them, and they're all haunted. It's like, because we saw a set of 3, didn't we, up for sale on eBay, and they were we were just for we were going to buy them for laugh, and they were haunted because one K2 meter went off once.
Yes.
Now he could have had his mobile phone next to him, or he could have been near a socket or something.
Taking a photograph with his mobile phone.
Oh yes.
So it was close. Not
the
Keg is not haunted dolls or anything.
No, I'm sure there might be some, because there are some creepy looking ones out there. And I'm not saying you can't have haunted dolls. I'm just saying it's the amount of haunted dolls.
Yeah.
And then you can add an extra naught onto the price of them when you want to sell them.
So do you think the dolls, I mean, I've always wondered this. Do we think the dolls are haunted themselves? Like people say, oh, they're vessels. Or do you think the dolls themselves attract energy of, if you're a child, you're going to be attracted to dolls and toys. Could it be the dolls and the toys are attracting an energy to it rather than being a vessel itself and being possessed? I don't know. What's your thoughts on that, Amy? Because you've been doing dolls.
Yeah, that's an interesting theory, because it's going to sound so silly, but I quite often forget, like, if the doll is haunted, it's not like the spirit is inside the doll, because sometimes I'll carry them around like they are a baby and like talk to them like a baby. If it is haunted, maybe the ghost is just like flying around. I don't know how it works. But yeah, and another thought that I've kind of had with the dolls, because there has been, as I said, subtle strange things that have happened since bringing mine into like the house. Maybe it's me projecting, you know, my own energy onto the dolls because I expect or anticipate or want them to be haunted. And it's just like you're just noticing things more yourself. So, and definitely like if you bring a doll around and a spirit's there, particularly a child, like doll starts moving, like baby Jesus crawling across the floor, like who's to say baby Jesus has something going on, or it's, yeah, the energy is attracted.
Or did the energy, was the energy attracted to the doll and maybe moved the doll? Not that the doll left the chair and crawled off across the floor. Although that would be really creepy. But I haven't seen baby Jesus do it too often. But yeah, it could be the energy attracted to it to play with it. And Amity, I'm just going to bring up Amity because I'm watching questions now as well. Or are the dolls holding residual energy? Kids love their toys and some children are really attached to them. Does the attachment create residual energy?
That's an interesting thought as well. I think one of my dolls, the one that I just picked up from like a secondhand shop, not purchased as a haunted doll, I get that vibe, like it's almost like a nostalgia for the doll is how I describe it to people. But like I'm not like, wasn't a big doll kid or anything like that. And I've never had a doll that looked like that either. So I'm like, why am I feeling that? Maybe there's something, it was just like a really loved doll or something, and it just has something left there, like a stain or something. I don't know.
Yeah, like some sort of, you know, I don't know. If I was in love with something, asked earlier, and I can't remember who it was, do you think clothing can also have energy attached to it? And do you know what I thought of when I saw that question come up, Kag? And I think Amy's seen it as well. That dress in Glen Bar, that black
the morning dress.
There is something about that black dress. You've seen it as well, Amy, haven't you?
Yes, that thing is creepy. And I don't know if it's just because it's on a mannequin and it's like just creepy looking.
But it's just something that draws you to it. And it is a morning dress. So somebody would have had a lot of, I get emotion with that dress, with the fact that somebody would have died and they were wearing it for so long for mourning. And it's just, it's an interesting question. Is it, you know, we're not just talking dolls here, are we? We're talking other items as well. And I'm just going to break into one of our paranormal field investigators, that my research team. And just to answer that question about not just dolls, we were actually taken out to a person's house, and a couple of times actually, but on this particular occasion, she was having weird things happen. She bought an antique wedding ring in a store, and she brought it home, and she was starting to get stuff happening in the house, which was starting to freak her out a bit. So we came along and we were trying to find out what was happening. But it came along at the same time she bought that ring. So she got rid of the ring. She took it back to the store and re-pawned it off. And all the activity stopped in the house. And she didn't have it again. So the question is, can energy become attached? Have you had anything other than dolls? Have you ever come across items in your travels and your videos? You've been all over the place, all over the world. Has there been anything involved with other items apart from dolls that have had things attached to it?
So when I was in the States, I went to Vegas and to Zach Bagans' Haunted Museum. And whether you love him or you hate him, I know that not every Ghost Adventures isn't everyone's cup of tea, but I tell you what, that museum is freaking amazing. Like, I was a bit like, I don't know if it's going to be like really tacky or over the top, but it's actually really, really well done. And there's so many items in there, and not all just dolls. I mean, he has the Dybbuk box. he has like a whole serial killer kind of room, and they're not really like claiming all of those like items in the serial killer room were haunted, but they all were connected to, these murderers or like the crimes. Like they had, bits of like, I think they were like toenail clippings or something from someone, and like the glasses that Ted Bundy wore when he actually performed some murders and stuff. The Dybbuk box was interesting. I thought they had the demon house. You know how he bought that house that was possessed by like 700 demons or something. He had this, I can't remember. It was a lot.
Sorry.
He had staircase there from that. Peggy the doll, another like famous haunted doll. Like there's just so many items in there, and whether they're all haunted or not, like there's a lot of history connected to them and some like really cool stories. But
I am going to carry on, Kag. I'm just looking up a photograph.
Yeah, I'm just going to say, if people can be attached to buildings, and like we had the pleasure of doing the former Royal Adelaide Hospital, and they had a grey nurse there. It was a nurse who obviously used to work in the building, and they were attached to the people in the building and the building itself. So if people can be attached, then why then can't they be attached to certain items?
Yeah,
so
I mean, just to compound that, here's another. I don't think it's the furniture itself that's haunted, but I think it attracts energies. And I'm talking about when my dad passed away. Just to talk about items that might be haunted. Now, I grew up. My dad had furniture from just after the war when he got married. He got a whole oak sideboard, table chair. We grew up with it. We weren't allowed to touch it. It was protected all the time. It had like blankets over it so it didn't get scratched. How it managed to go through 4 kids growing up with it, I'll never know. But nobody wanted it, and they couldn't get it in the house. So I put my hand up and said, look, I'll take it. But I'm out in Australia, and of course my dad, where we came from was England. So I had to pay to have it shipped out here, and it now is in my bedroom. And, he was always very, very, he'd had it all these years, from 1940, I think he got it. The day it arrived and the day I set it up in the bedroom, I had some weird things happen. The lights came on in my house in the middle of the night. The bedroom door opened. My 2 dogs that I had were very agitated suddenly. I had 2 German Shepherds. The whole house was freezing, and it's just like he came to check on what was happening with the furniture. It was really weird night. And occasionally I've just thought, Kag, maybe that's who it is checking up.
Oh,
it's just had a click there.
Because
things happen every now and again in my bedroom.
Yeah, and the thing is as well, you've always said that you've almost been taken out. Was it twice now with bushfires?
Oh yeah, it's a standing joke with all my family.
Yeah.
My house has just about been taken out 2 times by the bushfire that we've had around the place, and it gets within 20 meters of the house.
20 meters,
and then miraculously it gets put out. And me and my sisters have a standing joke that my dad is probably standing there going like this, making sure that his furniture doesn't burn.
Yeah, exactly.
It's an insurance. Having the furniture is an insurance that we don't lose the house there. That's what I say.
Mm-hmm.
But
remove it.
I've had a couple of weird things happen the other night. My bedroom door again opened, and it doesn't happen all the time. It's just every now and again. My bedroom door opened the other night about 5 o'clock in the morning. Woke me up as it opened. Now, I thought maybe my door wasn't shut properly. I had the air conditioning on and my fan, maybe the suction just opened the door. So I got up, shut it hard, tugged on it like this. It's a round door handle, you've got to turn it. And then thought, well, I'll do it. Went back to bed. And when I woke up, it was all open again. And it's like, there's nobody can do that. It definitely wasn't suction that time. I've been putting it down to maybe something's followed me home, but maybe it's my dad checking just every now and again, coming in, just checking on the furniture. So maybe people and energies do get attached to some of the stuff they had in life. It was very special to him. And it was special to me growing up, and that's why I took it. But yeah, there you go. Not just dolls. You actually met one of the most famous dolls, I believe, from Australia. Tell me about this one. You've done an episode of him as well, haven't you?
Yes, Let Me Out. So this is actually, I don't think he's from Australia originally, like he's from somewhere in Europe, but he is an Aussie doll. So I went and kind of met him. This doll, though, they don't say is like evil or bad, like so many of the other haunted dolls. So I think that's kind of like a nice, like.
He looks it. He doesn't look like a hat. Who would make a doll like that? Why would anybody for children make a doll looking like that?
The hair is real human hair as well. And the hair is so nice. I was like, oh my God, I'm so jealous of you, Letta.
It's very shiny.
Yeah, but the story was like it was made for a little boy who drowned, if I'm kind of remembering correctly. It's kind of good luck to go and meet Letta, and I kissed the doll.
You kissed him?
Sorry. The owner, like, I was getting my photo taken with him. He's like, do you want to kiss the doll? And I was like, am I allowed? Like, is that okay? He's like, yeah, kiss him. So I was like, okay.
How many other people have kissed him before you? I gather they've prior to COVID.
Pre-COVID, we're all good.
Hang on, can I kiss him through my mouth?
Yeah.
It's a gorgeous doll though, and like it is kind of like a kid, like quite big and heavy, and yeah.
Because he was very Wagga Wagga, wasn't he? Somebody was, if I remember rightly, a lady was exploring it. Well, the story goes, exploring an abandoned house.
Yes.
And I think found him in the house or under the house or something like that, took him home, and suddenly strange things started to happen.
And they animals don't really, they get strange around this doll as well.
Yeah.
So.
Dogs get aggressive and around him. So so, but you have done an episode on him, haven't you?
Yes.
So definitely go and
in an abandoned house as well.
It's kind of the thing you want to find, isn't it? Oh my God, that would come home with me as well. Can you imagine that staring at you at night, just having it by your bed? That isn't going to creep you out. It's just the eyes, isn't it?
That is so creepy.
Now let's see what else we got. Oh, which one's that? That's Charlie. That's another one. Do you know about Charlie? No?
No.
It's the doll. I can't remember the story though.
Charlie, I think he's now people, because I only had a quick look today, so people can shoot me down in flames if I get my facts wrong. Okay. I know the famous ones. This one isn't quite so famous. Charlie, I believe, was found in a trunk up in the attic of an old Victorian house, and they got him out the trunk, put him on the mantelpiece and showpiece, and of course, like all these haunted dolls, it started to move around the house on its own. They'd not be there, and they were getting pretty freaked out with it. Charlie, the youngest daughter, was saying, I believe, that Charlie was talking to her at night, and it was freaking the other kids out, and it was heard to talk at night. So it's now in a museum, I believe, in Canada. So, or in a place in Canada, not in the home. The whole family got so freaked out they put it back in the trunk. There was a page from the Bible locked in the trunk with it.
Ooh.
Yeah, so that's Charlie. Elmo. Who would have thought Elmo could be haunted?
Seriously?
I love this one. Yeah.
Go on then.
So obviously, we haven't heard of Elmo. So this family bought Elmo, brought it home, and Elmos were designed it would learn its owner's name and could say, because obviously Elmo ticks tickle it and it laughs and stuff like that. But it's also designed, it could say its owner's name, new owner's name. Problem with this Elmo is they brought it back for their son James, and Elmo started to say about killing. He wanted, it's like killing James, and it was just like, which is what every parent wants to hear. A toy come out. He started, as they say, he started to ad lib in a sing-song voice.
Oh, you got to love that.
I want to kill James, and I think they got after that. But again, you know, looking at the natural, if that was happening, you always wonder, well, could somebody have it's obviously programmed to say things, and you always wonder, well, could somebody have programmed it to do that? Just, you know how people get bored sometimes when they're making these things. Who knows? But yeah, we got Elmo. I can't remember this one, but that looks creepy. I think that's
Mandy.
Mandy, is it?
Maybe I can't remember.
Yeah. Ha.
I know this one.
Yeah, Robert the doll. All right, you know this one. Come on then, Amy. What do you know about Robert?
Robert, I think he was found in maybe a trunk or something as well in someone's attic.
Maybe this is the one that's a trunk. I don't know.
Yeah, like messed up things started happening to the family. I do know that when you go visit him, you have to ask his permission to take his photo, or bad things start happening to you. And I reckon these are all like story letters around him in this picture as well.
Okay.
Isn't
that the one that wasn't it given to him from his grandfather? And his real Gene was his name, the guy, but it was Robert Eugene somebody or other, Otto, Robert Eugene Otto or something like that. And his name, the owner's name, the new owner's name, the kid, they nicknamed him Gene. So, and the problem is that when he was little, I think if I remember rightly, when he was little, he used to talk to his doll Robert, but the whole family heard not only Gene talking to Robert, they could hear Robert talking back to Gene.
Ooh.
Which becomes whole creepy. Gene's, isn't Robert life-size doll as well, which is really unusual. He's actually kind of rather big, I think. So
it looks creepy.
Actually, the thing in his arms looks creepier. So
like a weird dog or something.
It's like, we've been on nearly an hour.
Yeah.
How can we not talk about Annabelle?
We all know this one, right?
Possibly do not open. With the Warrens. So now, what do you know about Annabelle, Amy? I'm going to test you.
Okay, so Annabelle was given to, I think she was a nurse as a present by her mum, and like strange little things started happening, and I think the story is basically that they thought that the doll had a child spirit connected to it and thought it was innocent, so they allowed her to kind of stay, and then that, I guess, opened up the demon to start doing its demon thing to them, and then that's when the Warrens intervened. They kind of took the doll. I know, like, it's sat in their museum for a long time in its little glass prison, and there is a story of someone taunting it and then dying because they had a motorcycle accident after they left the museum. So I'd love to go and meet Annabelle.
Yeah, it would be great, wouldn't it? I haven't been to the Warrens Museum. We should go, Cag, when we can travel again.
Yeah, when we can travel.
I think
I've got my arm ready. I've got my arm.
Amy is going to be heading out of the country. We'll be heading out of the country. We'll have to meet up. We'll have to try and go at the same time and meet up.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
That would be great fun. Go to West Virginia, penitentiary, go and see the boys. Paranormal Quest.
I mean, I wanted to go to the States with you ladies this year, obviously.
Yeah, we were planning, weren't we? Right back. I think you were on our early Ghost Cast at the beginning of the year, you and Jared, and we were basically planning, let's go, because we worked out we'd probably be in America about the same time. And we're friends with Paranormal Quest as well, the boys from Paranormal Quest, and we were thinking, well, we could meet up kind of at the penitentiary there and do a few other places. And yeah, it would be so much fun next year.
It's going to happen.
It is going to happen.
Oh, it's going to happen. Great collaboration, though, wouldn't it? It would be like all of us out there. So
that'd be cool.
Yeah. Gosh, nearly finished in time. So
I know, far out.
I think we find enough to talk about on dolls. Apart from Cag's scathing, do we have to talk about haunted dolls because I hate them?
Oh, Cag.
No, I don't hate haunted dolls. It's just that there's too many people saying that there are. Let me look at all the haunted dolls.
Yes, actually, these are the cheap ones.
They are very cheap.
There's only one bid. It's still got.
It's bidding.
Yeah, you got Paranormal Ran Toy, the Laughing Clown Doll, Creepy Giggles Possessed and Haunted for $200.
Mm-hmm.
I guess clown is a double whammy. Like dolls are creepy, clowns are creepy. Clown. Whew.
So you got haunted clown dolls. Oh, she's cheap, but she's only got 2 bids. She's got 4 days left. I like Spunky Fireball of energy.
Oh my God.
I think this is great, and I love the write-up. This is what I'm saying about write-ups. You know, he loves pulling pranks on me by hiding my things and messing with my worksheets. This girl is full of spunk and must have had ADHD in her past life. It's like, it's very detailed, isn't it? She sure does have it in her spirit form. She's around 10, maybe 11. I'm glad they're very specific on that and know the age of the spirit. She has never shared the way she passed, but I do know she was an only child. That's a lot of information. She lived with just her mother because her father died when she was very young. She has been pretty secretive about everything. She may end up sharing when she's ready. I just never press the issue. Just like our spirits will share in their own time. Oh, and due to eBay, I love this bit. Due to eBay's policies, I must list any of my dolls as entertainment purposes only.
Oh, okay.
So there you go. You can have the spunky fireball of energy. We should buy the spunky fireball of energy, Cag.
I think we should do. Have we got one more question to ask, Amy?
Uh-huh.
Are we going to ask her the one we had the other day about if they were told?
We were drinking wine the other day.
Oh no!
Oh no! After that,
yeah.
Oh, I had one of your people on who actually brought up a good point. What was it again?
If you are told to leave by a ghost or spirit through through any equipment, would you? Or would you? Yeah.
Would you honour it and leave? Let's say you've just started, and this was posed to us, and I thought, you know what, that is a good question. So we're not knocking the question. Oh, I actually think it's an interesting question. So if you've just started an investigation and you turn your ghost box on and you hear something is out or leave, get out. Do you turn away and walk away and respect that, or do you stay?
I think it kind of depends, right? So I feel like I always try my best to be respectful, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like I have had things where, like the last one I can remember was I thought the spirit box said stop or something like that. So if I get something like that, I will. Like I'll stop. And it's like maybe the noise is irritating. Like I don't know how it works. And I'll use something else. But if one just said leave, I don't know. I mean, how much money did I spend to rent the place?
We did leave at the beginning. And I think my answer was sometimes it's like when somebody walks into your house and wants to talk to you and you don't know who they are. It's like, hey, excuse me, can you just get out, please? Can you just leave? But then you talk to me and then you go, well, okay, so she's not too bad. All right, she's being respectful. Oh, she's quite friendly. Okay, I'll have a little chat to her. So is it that the first response of any energies is like, who are you? You're strangers. Go away. You're in my space. But if you stay, can you bring it around so that, you know, maybe they do want to communicate? Is kind of, and sometimes, I don't know about you, but my other answer would be that, well, sometimes we seem to get more than one through at the same time. So one might be grumpy, going, get out, get out, get out. And then you've got another one going, stay, stay, stay. And
Yeah.
it's like, well, which one do you listen to? So you paid a lot of money, and you paid a lot of money for the venue.
Yeah. I guess it's like the ethical dilemma, and part of me as well is, because I am skeptical, if I get something like that, I'll usually follow up if I like, why, you know, like tell me why, or something, or you know, give me something and I'll give you something. Like I'll go to another room if, you know what I mean? Like, because leave could be like a random thing.
It could be radio. It could just be, it happens to come out the radio. And what do? Do you give away all that money you just paid? Because I mean,
it's a part of it, but it's also like,
and it's just, if it's just a radio word, and it's like you've just gone on that. So and I would ask it because I thought it was actually an interesting dilemma. It was actually a very interesting question. I thought, you know what, I'll ask you that one as well.
That is a good question. I just try my best to be respectful.
I think you can be respectful.
I'm trying to screw up sometimes, but I just try.
Now we are going to start winding up. So now the reason we came on as well is because on one of your episodes, you actually made this was kind of before the second COVID came in as well, lockdown. We were just planning it, weren't we? And then we all got locked down again in South Australia. But you might have heard, for everybody out there who's watching Amy, and on here, been watching her episodes, Amy actually said to watch the Haunted Horizons page because we were going to do the doll thing, weren't we?
Yes. So we wanted to, similar to what we did in my videos, if you guys watch them, where we get all the dolls together in the haunted church, haunted schoolhouse of Talem, and allow, you know, we want help from the public to help us investigate and, you know, further see if anything's going on. Gosh, this year.
It's been up and down. We were planning it. And by the way, Kag, I'm just going to drop in. Custard Cream is waving to you.
Yeah, no, I did wave.
Okay, Custard Cream comes from where Kag used to live. So
no. Across, it's just the wrong side that she lived on, but it's all good.
Oh, okay. So we always give her a little wave. So the year has been crazy. We had it all planned. We were going to announce it. So for those who are wondering why Haunted Horizons hasn't announced that we're doing the doll thing, because we haven't set a date yet. We were about to. Amy and me were in talks, weren't we? And we had it set, wasn't it? End of November, beginning of December. We had it all set for kind of beginning of December. And then, bam, we had an outbreak of COVID again. Locked us down. So any plans we had got postponed. We are going to look at it for the new year. We are going to try and do it. So guys, if you email me, which is alison@hauntedhorizons.com.au, then I will put your names into a file, and when we actually set a date, we will send you you'll be the first to know the date and give the first opportunity. So we will do it. It will happen. It's just, the world is a bit crazy. We're just trying to work around the crazy world, aren't we?
It'll happen, and it'll be
7 months of no COVID, and then bam, just when we're setting a date, boom, outbreak, lockdown. Now we had like 24 hours to lock down. So, but guys, sorry for any disappointment. It will be coming. I know I've had some emails from people interstate because they need to plan and flights and stuff like that. So we will try and give enough notice. It won't be like tomorrow or anything like that, so that you can plan. Just email me, say you're interested. I will keep those on file. we won't stalk you or anything, I promise, but we will send you the date as soon as it comes out, and you'll get first, obviously, heads up when it's up on the system. So, but it'll be a good day. It'll be a good day. Good night. It'll be interesting.
My girls are excited.
Yeah. Maybe Jesus is hidden away, desperate to come out and play.
Yeah, exactly.
You'll all get to meet baby Jesus. He's lovely. He's so there you go. But that's the update, guys. That's what we wanted to really come on and tell you. That apologies. It's nobody's fault. It's just the way the world went. But we will do it. And you were supposed to talk, weren't you, at the beginning of the year, April? I know some people are probably wondering what happened with that, because there are tickets still out there. You haven't lost your tickets, guys. Tickets are still in credits. Tickets are still valid. And if you want to use them for the doll thing and change to that, you're quite welcome to, because we were bringing over Paranormal Quest from America, and we were going to get Amy and Ryan and Jason were coming over. And we had that big week planned of talks. You were going to talk with the other two, and we were going to do 3 investigations, and it was all great. One week, Ryan and Jason were about to get on the plane in 6 days, and boom. So yeah, but there you go.
I blame them. I blame the boys from Paranormal Quest myself. But
yeah, because they say that every time we try to travel, something happens. It was their fault.
They're very unlucky.
So guys, you come to Melbourne. Lots of hey, I'm going to be in Melbourne, Lisa. We're going to Melbourne on Sunday.
Yeah, we are.
Because I have to pick up my daughter from Melbourne. I haven't seen her for a year because of lockdown. She's been locked in a room in lockdown in Melbourne for, gosh, months and months and months. So finally, I can go and grab her, get her in the car, drive her back to Adelaide and have Christmas with her. So we're looking forward to that. So we will be in Melbourne. There you go.
We will,
We might have a place to investigate on Sunday night in Melbourne as well. So watch out for that. That'll be on the Haunted Horizons Facebook page. We don't do it on YouTube if you're on YouTube. I mean, I don't know why. Why don't we do it on YouTube? I don't know. You would think we would investigate on YouTube. You've done some investigations on YouTube, like live, haven't you, Amy?
I've done one live investigation. It went well, I think.
It's really weird because I don't think about doing it on YouTube. I always think about Facebook. And it's, maybe I should, I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think we should start kind of doing it on both pages? I don't know. It's really weird. I just haven't thought about it. So there you go. Anyway, any last questions for Amy? I know you haven't got any for us because we're not interesting enough. Aww. Enjoy Melbourne. We will, Kath. I'm looking forward to just having a break. So, Custard Cream says yes, she doesn't have social media. So, well, that's a point. A lot of followers on YouTube may not have Facebook. Custard, maybe I'll look into it. Maybe I will start going live on both pages. We can do it through StreamYard now, anyway.
Yeah.
So we don't have to do it through Facebook. Live feed on both, Dale. Okay. All right. Do YouTube because none of us gets on. Okay. A lot of people are saying that that do it on. Okay. Well, let's give it a trial. Maybe on Sunday when we do the place we're going to. Maybe we go live on both.
Let's give it a try. We can do that.
We'll try it out. So we'll see what happens. Oh,
cool.
Jeff Norton. Hello, Jeff. Recognise that name? Might be seeing Jeffson. I'm just looking at your comments, guys, before we sign off. So, because I've just said, do you have any last-minute comments? Don't like it through both. Oh, Amity. Oh, you can't see the comments from Facebook if you're on YouTube. Yeah, that is a problem, isn't it? That's why when Paranormal Quest or anybody does it, I try and put 2 split screens so I can see both lots. But hello, lovely ladies. Charmaine, really? We're about to sign off. What time is this to come on, Charmaine?
Yes, exactly, Charmaine.
Typical, isn't it? You know,
right.
Tasmania's most haunted thinks she can come on last
Make a grand entrance. Hello, I'm here.
Oh, you're gonna give Charmaine grief.
I know.
Paranormal
We had
Plane,
fun.
Adelmanian sisters.
one coming up before the end of the year. So I don't think it's my next video, my next one after that. So very
Okay.
soon.
Cool. So she's not going to tell us what it is. So
No.
we have
It's,
to wait.
I made it Christmas themed.
Oh, okay. That should be an
It's
interesting.
not like a Christmassy game, but yeah. And my mum is in that, so yeah.
Oh, your mum. Everybody loves your mum. She's.
Yeah.
Everyone loves Mum, so I was like, Mum, you have to play this game with us.
And Kath says, are you going to Victoria anytime soon to investigate now that the borders have finally opened up?
So I said to myself, I'm not going anywhere for the rest of 2020. I'm just staying here, and I guess the year's almost out. So I am going to be looking to go to some places in the new year. I don't really have any definitive plans yet, but I would love to go back to Victoria. There's a lot of places there. Like when we came back from the States, we did a little trip and did a few investigations that were really, really good. But I know there's more, so much more to go.
Have you been up to Beechworth yet? To Beechworth Jail up there?
I haven't, but I've heard really good things. And
I saw the lady. I don't know if she's still watching though. That runs it. I don't know if she's still on, but Beechworth Jail. Oh my God, that is so great. And
It is.
obviously the asylum, but you've got both in town. So, but they're worth doing. I love those two. I really do.
They are cool.
Yeah. Gosh, we could chat all night, couldn't we?
Mm.
Where's Jared tonight?
I don't know if he is watching. He only just got home from work, like as I was coming on this.
He should be saying.
Right.
Be
He was
waving
like,
his hands.
I don't know if he's watching.
I haven't seen him commenting.
Mm.
He said to me,
Betty says we've got to play more Randonautica.
oh, yes. I only tried that like once, and it was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, it kind of took me to like a random.
Here he
I
comes. He was watching.
Hi.
Hello. Your fans are waiting, Jared. Everybody's saying hi, Jared. Come on, come and sit down. Come and smile at them.
I can hear him running down the stairs like he's gone.
He's gone. He made a quick appearance.
Yeah.
Jared works all day, so he's probably shattered. So.
Yeah. It's had a few long days as well.
Oh, we got to go to Tasmania. Charmaine says she loves your mum as well. We have to go to Tasmania.
Yeah, we do.
We have to
Yeah.
work.
Yes.
We have to work as the Adelmanian sisters together. That's what we're called, sisters. So Charmaine, me, you, and Kat, we've got to go and do some stuff down there.
Yeah.
Hello, Tassie.
Brace yourself, Charmaine.
We're coming.
We're coming. We're coming down.
Coming. We're coming.
Down to see you in Tassie. Oh, Mount Dandenong, eastern suburbs of Melbourne, has a haunted house, Lisa said. So,
Oh.
Kareem says, no, you have to go to Essex. Custard, we, as I said, I think Custard already knows, I nearly tried to buy the, what's it called, that house, the witch house in Essex?
It's the,
I don't know.
Yeah, no.
Come on, you should know the name.
I know I should.
I nearly bought it after 2 bottles of wine.
Yeah, we have to go to, I can't think what it's called.
Something.
No.
I don't know. I saw it and I thought, that's not too badly
The
priced.
cave. That was it. Thank you, Jenny. The
I know
cave.
it's called the page, but there's another name. I can't remember. If you don't know, Amy, it's where the original witch trials and the witches were kept, and it's now a house and it's very, very haunted. And I came. The problem is it had already been sold, but I was trying to. Contract hadn't gone down. So
I see.
I'd had a bottle and a half of wine. I was doing a live with our Patreons. And they were watching as I was typing to the estate agent, and they're going, maybe you should read it in the morning. Oh, too late. But I didn't get it.
Next time.
Next time it comes up for sale.
Witch house. People are saying the cage.
The Cage, that's what it was called. But there is another
Cage.
name for it. I can't remember what it's called. Richard Estep has written a book on it. Salem. Yes, Salem would be a good one. And Winchester House would be good. But Winchester doesn't allow investigations. We've tried to hire it, but apparently they don't like hiring it out. Yeah, Kat says they did try to stop me. But very hard. See what wine does. I know alcohol, don't drink it. Children, it's bad for your health. All right?
It is. It is.
All right, we better sign off. We've had a lot of fun tonight. So, in a nutshell, yes, the doll event will come. Amy and Jared will be there to help out and run it for us. And we're going to get all the dolls we can, every creepy doll we can, and get them out just to see if it changes the energy. Email me. I will keep a record. You guys will be the first to find out because I reckon it'll sell out pretty quick. So definitely do that. Amy, thank you very much for coming on.
Oh, thank you.
I'm sure we'll see you again at the winery where we'll come up with some other subject for you to come on with. So everybody, even though I'm the only one apart from Amy with his... Amy, where can they find your merch? Because I love your Halloween thing that you had, the new shirt and t-shirt.
My website has a link, so amy'scrypt.com.
Yep. And your videos on YouTube, everything is just Amy's Crypt.
Yeah, just look up Amy's Crypt and
Facebook, Amy's Crypt YouTube. She has some great Christmas t-shirts, Amy. Better show it again.
It's Christmas.
Merry Cryptmas. Yep.
Love it.
Christmas stuff. If not, just get stuff anyway. So, all right, I'm going to go. I have tea to have, and I'm going to go and watch Vikings. So I've got to go and watch some spunky men running around with swords and shields.
Yes.
You know how it is. And we will see you again. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Thank you, Amy, for coming on. And Cag, shoo. Go on.
Yeah, whatever.
I'll probably see you tomorrow, Cag.
We will see you tomorrow.
Okay, catch you later. Bye.
Bye.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Stay
Merry
safe.
Christmas.
Enjoy Christmas. And let's all celebrate 2021 coming in. See you later.